A few days after his 19th birthday, Howard Charles Hensley Jr. enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where he proudly served his country during the Korean War. He began his service with boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina, then on to Camp Pendleton, California, for further training. From there, he and other Marines boarded the USS General John Pope and arrived in Korea 18 days later. In Korea, Charles was assigned to the Marine Corps Unit George Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment, where he dutifully served on the front lines around the area called Bunker Hill. His dedication, effort, and performance earned him, among others, a Bronze Star and a Purple Heart. However, his highest achievement was the Distinguished Navy Cross. He earned the Navy Cross in the very early hours of a cold January morning, just before his 21st birthday. On Hill 98, his platoon was selected for the assault force in a raid on an enemy-held position. After a series of events and many casualties, they found themselves fighting the enemy with hand-to-hand combat right in and around the trenches. Ultimately, Sergeant Hensley took command of his depleted platoon to cover the evacuation of casualties, and he courageously searched the enemy position to ensure that all casualties were accounted for and removed to a safe area. Throughout the withdrawal, he maintained direct supervision of the rear guard that was covering the evacuation and engaged the enemy in sporadic firefights for approximately 3 hours until all casualties were evacuated to the main lines. By his indomitable fighting spirit, exceptional fortitude, and valiant leadership, Sergeant Hensley served to inspire all who observed him and contributed in large measure to the success of his squad in completing its mission. His great personal valor reflects the highest standards and enhances the finest traditions of the United States Marines. In 1954, along with his accomplishments, he returned home to Blandonsville with a deeper sense of community. His family and the members of this community served as his vital lifeline to home during the most difficult time in his life. He would often receive care packages consisting of sweet treats, newspapers, and mustache wax. Part of the joy of receiving those care packages was in sharing them with his fellow Marines and them with him. Through the sharing, he formed several close bonds and cherished friendships that have lasted lifetimes. Of course, these relationships were forged through the hardships of war and shared loss. He is a true patriot, a good friend, a successful farmer, a heck of a card player, but I am most proud to call him my dad.
It would be nice if we would all stand and give Charles the ovation that he so richly deserves. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you. You may be seated.